analytics is a means to an end. They look at it as to how do I improve the performance of marketing plans, how do I help improve, connect with customers, and things of that nature. Now, I just want to tell you a story about this guy. The guy on the left is Dave Brailsford. He's the performance director of Great Britain's pro cycling team, right? So he set out with a vision of winning Tour de France in 5 years. Of course, without the help of performance-enhancing drugs, right? So he achieved it in 3 years, and along the way, he picked up around 70% of the cycling gold medals that were at the last 2 Olympics, right? He combined scientific analysis with creative solutions, and that's the key. How do you bring together the analysis to bear with a creative solution that offers, right? His mantra was very simple, actually. Success through accumulation of marginal gains, right? 1% at a time. So if you improve 100 things in any given point in time, you've got a significant improvement in hand. And that's the mantra. So when we look at gains come from analysis and action together, and they can't be one without the other. Now, you guys all know the analytics continuum, right? So you gather data, you tag, you generate reports, produce reports, generate insights, and then take actions. Now, if you don't do the last part, rest of it is academic exercise, right? So, personally, I would like to even give away the first 2 steps to get my hands on the actual insight. Now, the insights help you take actions, and I can take it to the C-level executive and say, how do you improve your performance, based on the action, the insight that I have. Now, a lot of times, we confuse a smartly articulated fact with insight, all right? If I were to ask you this question, and what is the favorite shoe of the professional burglar? Any guesses? Sorry? Hush puppies? All right. It's Reebok Classics, right? 52 out of 100 burglars who were investigated or Reebok Classics. Now, this is a fact. This is not an insight. Right? Insight comes from understanding why. Right? Police say that it is the preferred sneaker because it is the lightest and the quietest. Now, there is your marketing strategy for that shoe. Right? It is about understanding the why behind that fact. Right? How do you get there? It's the context and experience of your client's business that allows you to get that killer insight, to consistently generate killer insights. And that's important. Now, I want to show you a couple of simple examples, the simplest I could find, right? Just to show you the impact of analytics in performance optimization. Now, people abandon cart while online for any number of reasons. By simply resurfacing their abandoned cart when they revisit, we just generated 10 orders a day extra, right? Now, but if you look at it, over the course of the year, that translated into approximately, 2 million pounds. Now, that's marginal improvement by marginal gains, right? The other one that I want to talk about is very simple. One of our clients had a casino team. They thought they were doing very well, actually, right? The fact was, essentially, the market was growing. They were not up to it, actually, right? However, they believed 84% of their consumers were profitable. Now, in the sense of a casino, the person who loses the most is the profitable consumer, just so you know, right? So they thought 84% of their consumers are profitable for them. When we added cost per acquisition, it turned out that it's only 20% that were actually profitable. Now, imagine a marketing strategy that is put together to go after those 84% of the folks that actually are unprofitable. That would have been a disaster, right? So analytics plays a critical role in terms of understanding how you go to market, who you connect with, and how do you reach them understanding that. Now, these are all transactional and behavioral data that we talked about, but there is a treasure trove of additional information that is out there, right? Today, Gagan talked about the empowered consumer. I talk about connected consumers, right? They are intensely social, right? We're all intensely social. Now, we share who we are and what we like, right? We share our hobbies. We say, which movie did I like, last time what I saw, where I live, what my relationships are even, right? Sometimes I share my location as well using mobile phones. When I'm on the go, I check in, potentially use applications like Foursquare, for example, and check in when I check into the store, right? And then we also share what we buy, and because buying is an intensely social experience, right? So we share what we buy. Now, what we're expecting is essentially, in turn, what we are expecting brands and marketers to do is to treat us as an individual, as a face-to-face. We are likely to respond better when we are addressed with a name, with the context, what Sundar was talking about, right? Understanding who I am and talking to me with that context, face-to-face on a different medium. So what I call, that presents us with a fantastic opportunity, what is called experiential opportunity. Now, we all talking about the core, which is essentially transactional, and I'm sure Vidyut is going to talk about that as well. The core, which is transactional. Then you talk about demographic, right? You talk about behavioral. But how about experiential? How do we connect those things together, right? If we are able to look at and engage with consumers at the moments that matter to that business or brand, ability to engage the consumer when they are in the shop, in front of a product, looking to buy, how do you nudge them, right? Or they are online looking or searching for something, and then how do you nudge them to have that moment of truth to choose your brand over another brand? And the ability to do that, and marketers are looking for that ability from agencies like ourselves. And how do we help them? There is a huge opportunity where we can help marketers understand how they can take advantage of these experiential opportunities out there. And we can give different tags for it, big data, whatever we want to call them. But what they are focused on is how do I improve, better connect with our consumers that are out there, thereby creating loyalty. Now, before I close, I want to kind of be a little bit more controversial and say this, right? Analytics is as scientific as it gets, but adoption comes down to faith. All right? If you do not believe the number, if you don't have faith in the numbers that you have, you're not going to make decisions based on those numbers. Simple as that. Accurate and timely data is critical for you to be successful, right? That's the key. Second one, difference between a good analyst and great analyst is how do you read between the lines. Both of them will have the same set of facts. How does it come? It comes with the context and the experience of what your business is or what your client's business are and what that brand is trying to achieve. You can call it a ESP or intuition, but I feel that it is about your ability to bring to bear your knowledge and context and experience of your client's business. That makes the difference between it being a great analyst versus a good analyst. Third, it's just the favorite one I have. And analytics is all framed by language of mining. We are always talking about data mining, looking for that, golden insight, having a filter in hand, trying to filter out, it makes it really cold and mechanical, actually, right? Looking for a needle in the haystack type work. Whereas it's actually a detective work. What you're looking for, what you're analyzing is the human behaviors behind those numbers. You want to understand human behavior that is showing up in those numbers. Their aspirations, their opportunities, their thinking, what they're trying to do, their intent, right? It's more like human behavior and it's more like solving a murder mystery, right? You want to understand the motive. the why behind what happened, right? You want to understand the means, the how, right? So to speak, the murder weapon, right? And then the third one, the opportunity, the who, right? Analytics, you need to look at it from like a crime scene, where you are essentially trying to understand the patterns behind those numbers more from a human side rather than just the data perspective.